Hello and welcome to Building Resilience in Children. Now, today we are going to discuss very much of a relevant topic, a subject that is of high importance, I believe, as parents, we need to be very mindful about. Now, this is part of the Back to School series that I said that we have launched now, and every week we will try and bring in a relevant topic. Of course, we are doing our background research on it. We will be bringing back our workshop series as well. So, the stories to share with you all. And thank you very much indeed for your help, for your support, and for getting in touch with us. So, the second in the series today is Stop the Hate, which is all about bullying. And this is something that has been in the conversations and not only has been, but it kind of continues because we don't know where we stand. We don't know actually what happens, when we're talking about bullying, how serious is that and what are the impacts of it and how we can handle as parents the situation, and also, do we actually know whether that's a bullying or that's just a kind of an issue that has come up? So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. And I will be referring to some of the websites. The links will be in the description below, so you can also have your own look at those websites and do your own research around it. But let's start by actually looking into defining bullying. Now, when we are talking about bullying, I mean, there is no one single definition of it, but of course, there are different ways that it has been defined. So, what we will be looking at is defining that first. Then we will be looking into the different types of bullying. Next, we will be looking into the signs of bullying. Particularly important is also to talk about the cyberbullying, which is quite relevant in a digital age. And then, of course, how do we address bullying? So say, for example, we come across a situation where we have heard something from our child or children, and they have. And you're not sure actually what it is about and whether if it is bullying, then what steps you should take. Now, to start with, I refer to this quote quite well, uh, many times actually, because this is oftentimes bullying happens in a very subtle manner, and it is often important to remind ourselves as well about true friendship. What is true friendship? So never do a wrong thing to make a friend or to keep one. So you shouldn't actually support any wrongdoings just to keep your friend with you. Um, so, moving on from there, bullying constitutes unwelcome and aggressive conduct which are exhibited by children of school age, encompassing an actual or perceived inequality in power dynamics. Now, this conduct recurs or holds the possibility of recurrence over a duration of time. So it's not that just happened today, but it's kind of a continuity. There is a continuity element. So there is a time element added to it. Now, both youngsters who fall victim to bullying and those who engage in such behavior may encounter substantial and enduring challenges. And as parents, I think we need to be very much mindful about it so that we can take actions and we can support our children. Now, defining bullying, of course, what it is and what it is not, this is one of the things which is difficult. As I say, that there is no one definition of it. However, what I will do is, for the purpose of this video, I will be looking into the government website and how you can deal with it, and of course, some of the support that you can get. So, if you see here that there is a number, there's a helpline, there's a telephone number as well, and they're open between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. So if you need any help, any support, or you want to talk through um, just to discuss whether whatever you're anticipating is right or wrong, you can actually talk to them. And it's the National Bullying Helpline. So definitely you can keep a note of that. So, when we are defining bullying, according to the government website, now if you want to look into more and go into much more details, we won't be able to cover. And I don't want to make a very long content, but this is more to give you some prompts, some of the topics that you can actually go and research on. So, here is the government website QR code you can scan. Now, if you've got a QR code installed in your scanner installed in your phone, you can just scan and it will take you to the website. But what it says is actually that there is no legal definition of bullying. However, it's usually defined as behavior that is repeated. As I said, that there is a time element, so it doesn't happen just once. It's over time. And some of the schools actually they use this as a thing, like, to how do you identify it, and they usually call it several times on purpose, so there is an intention with time. So the first one is, it has to be repeated. Secondly, intended to hurt someone either physically or mentally. It doesn't have to be always physical, it can be emotional as well. And often aimed at certain groups, for example, because of race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. So, depending on all of these, it kind of sometimes, it becomes hard to then identify whether it's bullying or not. However, if you're in doubt, you can use that helpline to talk and get some help. To meet the criteria for bullying, the conduct must be forceful and encompass a disparity in power, number one. So those engaging in bullying exploit their power, be it through physical strength, possession of embarrassing knowledge, or popularity, to dominate or inflict harm upon others. Now, these power differentials can shift over time and in diverse circumstances, even if involving the same individuals. Recurrence is also another thing, as I said, that it repeats. So, bullying actions transpire on multiple occasions or holds the potential for recurrence. So, you need to be observant about it before you conclude something. And also, it takes many different forms, and they can include physical assault, teasing, making threats, name calling, cyberbullying, or there are many different forms, so I can't actually list everything out. And your school, of course, should have its own policy to stop bullying. So please, if you're not actually sure of it, please visit your school's website, because they should have something in place. So refer to that first, then talk to your school, and in the meantime, if you need to, you can talk to the National Bullying Helpline as well. Now, there are three types of bullying mainly. If you classify it, one is the verbal bullying, which is saying or writing mean things. Verbal bullying includes teasing, name calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, threatening to cause harm, and those kind of things. Then there is this thing called the social bullying, which is sometimes referred to as relational bullying as well, involves hurting someone's reputation or relationships. Now, social bullying includes leaving someone out on purpose, telling other children not to be friends with someone, spreading rumors about someone, or even embarrassing someone in public. The other kind, the third one, is the physical bullying. And this involves some form of violence, and it involves hurting a person's body or possessions. Now, physical bullying includes kicking, pinching, spitting, tripping, pushing, taking, or breaking someone's things, making mean or rude hand gestures. So, but it is kind of quite violent actually in its form. Bullying can take place both within and beyond school hours. So, while the majority of reported instances of bullying occur within the school premises, and the school definitely takes a action against it, so you need to talk to the head teacher or whoever is actually responsible in the school. A noteworthy proportion also occurs in settings such as playgrounds or buses. Additionally, it can transpire during journeys to or from school, within the young person's local community, or even on the internet. So you need to be vigilant, um, and try to understand from it. Now, bullying, of course, needs two players, as you like. So one is the aggressor, of course, who induces the harm, and the other who is actually the victim of the situation. Now, there are different websites that you can go to. One I find quite useful is the bullyingpro.com. Now, this is the anti bullying one, which was supported by the Diana. foundation, so you can actually have a look into it. And of course, there are also government publications and there are longitudinal studies as well. So I'll put all the links in the description below. So if you want to know more, please do go into it. But it's very interesting when I was trying to find out some of the facts around bullying and what happens actually. Some of the fascinating facts that I found from the Diana Award website are fascinating. So, you will be moved by these, I think. So, 22%, as it says on their report, 22% of young people aged 12 to 20 say they have experienced bullying behavior in the past 12 months. 45%, which is quite a high number, had experienced it at least once a month, and 31% had experienced it at least once a week. 1 in 10, which is about 11%, 8 to 11 years old, say they have personally experienced some form of bullying behavior. 1 in 5, which is about 20%, between the age of 12 and 15, say that they have personally experienced some form of bullying behavior. And 36% of young people aged between 8 to 12 are worried about experiencing bullying behavior at school, college, or at university. If you want to know more about it, and there is a much detailed, you'll see, how the respondents have responded to the impact, regarding the impact, and how they have talked about, how it has had a really bad impact on their education. Yeah, so all those reports are there as well. So if you want to know more, you can scan the QR code now to look at it, or the link in the description below as well. Now, there is another organization called the Anti-Bullying Alliance. Now, as parents, I think that we should all at least have an understanding of bullying and how and different types, shapes, and forms it takes. So, there is this free CPD online anti bullying training. And it is like quite nice, I would say. I have taken it myself, so I would say that definitely worth having a look at. Again, the link in the description below, so you can have a look at. Now, the Anti Bullying Alliance is a coalition of organizations and individuals that are united against bullying. So it's kind of quite a powerful training to be part of. So children can assume various roles as well in these bullying situations. Now, they can take on the roles of bullies, victims, or bystanders who observe the bullying. In many instances, children are engaged in more than just one role. Occasionally, they might find themselves both experiencing bullying and exhibiting bullying behavior, or they might witness other children undergoing bullying. Now, recognizing these diverse roles that children occupy is crucial for us as parents, because in implementing or strategizing our plan, to prevent and address bullying. The spectrum of roles children assume in bullying extends beyond just those who initiate bullying and those who experience it. Some researchers refer to the bullying circle to encompass both those directly participating in bullying and those who actively or passively contribute to it or seek to counter it. The direct roles, of course, encompass bullying children who are youngsters, partake in behaviors that involve bullying their peers. Various risk factors can contribute to a child's involvement in such actions. Often, these students require assistance to modify their behavior and address any underlying challenges influencing their conduct. And then there is this bullied children, of course, who are the victims of the situation. Now, these individuals become the targets of bullying behaviors. Certain factors increase their vulnerability to bullying. Although not all children with these traits will encounter bullying, at times these children may need support in acquiring strategies to effectively respond to bullying. Now, there are also children who actually assist in the process. Now, these youngsters might not initiate it or lead the bullying conduct, but they function as assistants to those engaged in bullying. Now, they might endorse and at times join in with the bullying behavior. There are also children who reinforce it. So, while not directly participating in bullying, these children contribute an audience to it. They often laugh or offer support to those engaging in bullying, inadvertently encouraging its continuation. So I think, there are different roles, as I said, and finally there is also this role of an outsider. Now these children remain detached from the bullying scenario. They neither reinforce the bullying action nor shield the targeted child. Some might observe the situation without taking a stance, refraining from providing any feedback that aligns them with either side. However, their presence can still inadvertently fuel the bullying behavior. Now, these children often possess a desire to help but are unsure how to do so and discover ways to become more than a bystander. So, it is kind of a little bit of a difficult for children in those situations as well. So we don't have to be, we are not actually name calling anyone. We are not actually going to identify anyone, but it's more kind of a process that we are looking at. Children who also defend, so these youngsters actively provide solace to the child facing bullying and may intervene in defense of the victim when bullying occurs. So it kind of depends, the role that they play. But there are many different reasons for bullying. So there are peer factors, there are family factors, emotional factors, or even school factors. Again, link in the description below if you want to look into it and see, what actually contributes towards these kind of situations. Now, there are signs of bullying as well. So as parents, I think that it's very important that we understand what's going on. So there are emotional signs, physical, behavioral, or other signs. Now, there is no one particular sign that we can say about, but on a day to day basis, like you can see some of the signs that you can spot early on, like belongings getting lost or damaged, coming home with physical injuries like unexplained bruises, torn clothes, being afraid to go to school, being mysteriously ill each morning, skipping school, doing less well at school, being nervous or losing confidence, becoming quiet and withdrawn. So there are many different ways, of course, that you can identify it, but these signs are not always as a result of bullying. There might be multiple factors. So talk to an expert, if you are unsure, and that's very important. Now, one of the other interesting website that I found like really good is the NSPCC, as we all know about it. But according to NSPCC, children who are bullied, these are the effects. I was coming across, and as I was doing the research, I come across the website, and what they're saying there is essentially that children may develop mental health problems like depression, anxiety, have fewer friendships, aren't accepted by their peers, are wary and suspicious of others, have problems adjusting to school, and don't do as well. All children who are affected by bullying can suffer harm, whether they are bullied, they bully others, or they witness bullying. So all of that has got an impact. Again, please scan the QR code here to find out more from the NSPCC website. But I think the whole point, or the purpose of this content, is to raise the awareness of bullying and to open that conversation and to kind of look at situations, or have some open conversations with your child at home if you think that there are some problems. And I think that as parents, we need to understand that we all have a role to play in addressing bullying. So, of course, if you've got a problem, first go to the principal in the school staff, parents, guardians, as we are, and students. So it's very, very important that we all play a role in addressing the bullying, so that we can support children wherever they are, whether in school or at home, or even they're in library or in any of the, say for example, playgrounds, wherever it is, we provide them that support, and that's very important. um, I think it's also, as adults, what we can do is we can reflect. So we can think of a time where we were in a situation that involved bullying, and what did I do? What would you have done differently? And those are the kind of conversations that you can have um, within or with yourself, actually, as part of reflection. But this is really good exercise to kind of shed some light on the um, situations that you have handled, but also learning it and passing that on to your child. There are lots of support available for parents and carers, again, on the NSPCC website. You can scan it here and you can, of course, have a look at those. But it's very important that we don't stop the conversation. It's very important that you keep building on that positive conversation with your child. Ask them questions, be parenting oftentimes brings in some kind of power relationship. And what I would say is that in today's world, that's not very helpful. So I think there are different parenting styles, and we have talked about this before in our channel as well. But essentially, what I'm trying to say here is that in order to understand your child and protect them and make them resilient for their futures, I think it's very, very important that you listen to them and you be by their side, of course, understanding them and having that open conversation to build on. Well, that's it for today. So, thank you very much for staying with us, and thank you very much for your support and watching us. And as you all know, and thank you for sending us all the drawings that for the competition. So, we are looking forward to hosting the exhibition, and we will update you as soon as we have organized it. You can contact us at contact@brick22.com, and we are also working with different international schools globally. So if you are watching as part of a school, please do get in touch if you need to have a conversation, if you want us to build some content, do some research for you, some particular problems that you're facing at the moment, and you want some advice. We are here to help. You can also stay in touch on our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So that's it for today. I'll come back soon with another content. Thank you very much for your support. And if you've not subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe. If you like it, please do like us on the YouTube channel, the contents. And also, if you like it, please do share with your friends and family. Thank you. Stay well.